Welcome back to another training with John, your performance mindset coach. In today's training, we're building on our blog for this week, which is understanding stress in high pressure environments. I'm sure everyone here can resonate with this guy in this picture who is clearly under a lot of distress and stress and has people coming at him for new tasks, new things he needs to do, but the man simply has no time. So I'm sure this is something that's been reflective of your experience in a workplace at some form. All right, so high pressure environments, so stress in a high pressure environment can come from tight deadlines, demanding clients, excessive workload, and a lack of control over work processes. So I want you to think about this from two different perspectives. Number one, you're the business owner who's maybe the one who is actually filtering some of this stress down through your staff and your team without consciously being aware of it, or you're an employee who is maybe on the other end of that stress that's coming from the top down. But why does it happen? Well, you just look at it from a business perspective, right? Everyone has got certain deadlines, certain KPIs that they need to meet, which they're then passing on and delegating, and that stress is just building and building and building until it's meeting the middle tier management or the staff and the employees who are responsible for delivering the workload. So what we can do, of course, is try to manage it on our end and try to build stress resilience to help us to be able to cope. From a business perspective, we can try to promote different practices that can help foster more of a culture of growth, more of a culture of well-being, rather than one that's totally been stress-driven and outcome-driven. So don't forget to download the free PDF that goes with this training in the description for this video. All right, so impacts: short-term fatigue, headache, impacted mood. All right, so the short-term impacts of this stressful environment is, of course, fatigue, headaches, impacts your mood. When you're carrying that sort of state then into your daily work, of course it's going to have an impact on the decisions you make. Of course it's going to have an impact on your brain. And what happens is your prefrontal lobe is now going to be underutilized because your amygdala is most likely hijacked because of the constant stress, meaning you cannot make decisions in a rational way. Most of your decisions are going to be based off of your back brain, which is very much the one that is emotive. So constant state of neuro threat, right? So you're in that constant state of neuro threat. Long-term burnout is potential from constantly being in a high stressful environment and not being able to manage it. Relationship strains, if you're bringing home that stress and it's impacting your relationships, or it's going to lead to you being demotivated in your business or in your career. So what are some of the problems? Well, lack of self-regulation, right? So lack of self-regulation in terms of the individual not properly increasing their capacity to deal with the stress, right? Not being able to raise their standards and expectations to the same level of what has been expected of them. Poor self-management. So maybe you don't take care of yourself enough self-care, which is actually impacting then your level of stress resilience that you have to face the challenges that you face in work every day. Sometimes living at effect, meaning we're not living at cause, which is we take ownership of the situation, ownership of our life, ownership of our choices. We're living at effect, meaning we have a victim mentality. Everything is happening to us, which therefore is going to lead to us having a negative frame and perspective around a stressful work environment. So some of the solutions then, what can we do that's in our control? It's easy to say, just reduce the stress at the top, create a stress-free environment, but in reality, you're working in a big company, a big business, that is just not going to happen, all right? There's always going to be stress to deliver deadlines. Why do we have deadlines? To motivate people to meet targets, right? Without that, it's a free-for-all and people don't get work done. But it's up to us as the employee or the business owner to build our capacity to deal with it, all right? So proactively self-regulate. How do we proactively self-regulate? We schedule in things that we enjoy outside of our work. Stuff that refuels us, stuff that gives us the energy, stuff that starts to build that resilience. Self-management, you take care of yourself, you work and develop yourself to make sure that you can deal with these challenges, and you live a cause. You take ownership of the situation. How can I get better? What is there for me to learn in this situation? What is the lesson for me? Where's the stress coming from? Identifying stress triggers. So we can get better at identifying the stress triggers. What is it that makes me stressed? What situation? What is the situation that happens that then leads to me going down a certain path of trigger, frustration, self-soothe, maybe overreaction, then feeling guilty or shameful for your reaction. What is that negative cycle that you go on? Time management and prioritization. So we can learn how to effectively manage our time, prioritize certain tasks to make sure we keep on top of our workload. That is creating expectations for our brain. It's creating predictability, which is going to help reduce that neural threat. Self-care, putting you first. So you have to do things to put you first. Stress triggers. Bring awareness to the triggers, right? So what are some of the triggers that you might have that are leading to you being in a stressful state, all right? So once we can start to bring awareness to it, now we can start to own the gap and make a better choice over time. Reframe it. What is another choice for me in this situation? What is another way I can come at this? Ascension movers, plan your week. Set yourself up to win. Plan yourself first when you plan your week, but then plan your tasks in ways that are prioritized in terms of 1, 2, 3. This is most important, and this is what I need to focus on. This is going to reduce a large amount of the stress we experience, especially the ones we put on ourselves. Counting your wins then is going to make sure that your brain sees the progress you're making. It helps close the loops to make sure that it's not in that constant state of threat. Self-care, you are the priority. You need to put yourself first, all right? If you don't put yourself first, then you're always going to be in a reactive mode. Meditation or mindfulness, simple activities to help, again, decrease that neural threat, to give your nervous system the break it deserves. Ascension amplifiers, meaning what are the things that give me energy, give me the verve, give me the life, make me feel good that I do outside of my work that helps me deal with that stress in the workplace. So a couple of worksheets for you to help fill in around thoughts, feelings, behaviors for your tracking your patterns. We have our ascension movers here, so the 3 to 6 things that are going to help yield the biggest results for you. And a couple of reminders, don't forget to download that worksheet in the description area. You'll find the link there below. Self-awareness always comes first, so we always have to be self-aware so we don't overreact. Proactive approach, so we're not reacting to the situation or reacting to the stress. We're trying to not get into that position in the first place. Don't forget, you are the priority. So that is it for this week. If you enjoy this blog, drop a comment below. Don't forget to subscribe to this channel. The more it grows, the more content, podcasts we're going to be bringing you.